careful with the doctors, so I'll convey this to her. Yeah, I was part of the MeSeva initiative, and a bit of a correction. That project has moved on from 150 services at one point of time when we launched it in 2009-10. Now it has more than 400 odd services in the G2C and G2G and G2B framework, and it has more than 8 to 9 lakh transactions now in the two states of AP and Telangana, and it has definitely transformed the digital landscape, as I said, definitely transformed the way we deliver the citizen services to the common people. But here, actually, I'm going to talk about two major platforms, because it's digital platform for transforming governance as the topic here, and I thought I'll talk about two major platforms that we could create in the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. And this goes to prove that information technology and its solutions are really all pervasive. I mean, you can be in any sector and you can transform any sector if you make use of the information technology solutions. And as by the word itself, if you look at it, many of your IT professionals, and you would appreciate now that the age has come where you talk about everything as a service. You have infrastructure as a service, you have platforms as a service, and I think this is what we tried to create in the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. I'll talk about two initiatives that we have started in the ministry. They're fairly mature now and doing well for the sector. And this goes to prove how information technology and creating platforms can solve problems which are just not confined to one sector. They can transform any sector that you want. One platform that we created came out of a different idea. The idea was to, when the new government joined in, and our minister gave a call that we are going to have cement roads, basically for the life cycle cost and for durability. And as we all appreciate that cement is a hardly cartelized industry. And the moment he made this announcement, the immediate response from the cement guys was to check up their prices. And all our projects their costs went up by more than 10%. We needed to have a solution. So at that time, our minister called the cement industry folks, and he requested them to come up with some ceiling price for the infrastructure sector, especially the public infrastructure. And with some adjustments, we could make them to agree to a particular price. But I don't think that was a sustainable solution. We couldn't have done it for long. At that time, I joined the ministry, and the minister, actually, knowing my IT experience, he actually asked me that, can you do something about this whole business of, sorting out this whole problem of cartels. So then we thought that, why don't we create another platform? Why don't we create a platform wherein we cartelize the buyers? Now you have the sellers who are cartelized, we'll try and cartelize the buyers, aggregate the buyers. And therein came the idea of this platform called as INAMPRO. As the name suggests, INAMPRO is an acronym for Infrastructure and Materials Providers. I mean, all those who are in the business of creating infrastructure, companies like ours, contractors, state PWDs, NHAI, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, or any other sector, the power ministry or the rail ministry or the irrigation departments in various states. So we created a platform where we registered we provided the facility for all these multiple infrastructure providers to register on the platform. And on the other side, we provided the facility to all those who provide cement to these infrastructure sectors. So it started with cement, and as it goes on, it's kind of a marketplace. It's a place where there are products being offered by the cement companies at various prices in various locations all over the country. And on the other side, you have the infrastructure players who are handling various projects in various parts of the country. With obviously a bit of IT into all this by geotagging all these cement plants, by geotagging the projects. So you have the registered users on one side, that is infrastructure players. On the other side, we have the cement plants. And then you add the mechanism of allowing these people to do a transaction on the portal, create a payment gateway, and effectively conduct these transactions. So basically this Amazon or a Flipkart kind of a model for between the cement players and the infrastructure players was created by making use of information technology. And I see it a role. My colleague in the ministry, Mansoor, is sitting right there. They all played a role, and we created this platform with absolutely minimal cost. And we got the cement companies to agree to supply more than 265 lakh metric tons at different prices. And as you understand, this is a completely voluntary portal. It's a voluntary portal in the sense that we are not forcing anybody to buy through this portal. But effectively, what happened was, it created a ceiling for the entire sector. I mean, if a contractor is getting anything lesser than this, he has the freedom to go anywhere and buy it. But in case the prices go above this particular level, he always can come to the platform and do his transactions. It has been doing very well in terms of not just providing information about the cement prices in the country, but at the same time allowing a lot of these infrastructure players to do transactions through the portal itself. And then it actually track the cement price at a particular level. We're not allowing the cement price to go beyond that particular level, because that is a commitment which has been extracted from the cement companies, especially for the infrastructure sector. More than 900 odd big infrastructure players are registered buyers on the portal. And as I mentioned to you, more than 2.65 lakh metric tons of cement is being transacted through this portal at a fixed price. But the beauty of platforms and beauty of IT solutions is that once they mature and once they become a kind of a marketplace or a platform, then you can add to it a lot of things with minimal investments and minimal costs. And the journey of this started last year. And why don't we make this a complete A to Z for the infrastructure sector? Why don't we complete it like a complete Amazon or a Flipkart for the infrastructure sector? If you are a contractor, you require equipments. Somebody has equipment lying somewhere waste. I mean, it's idling somewhere. But this guy requires this equipment. Can we not allow this platform to do these kind of transactions? Somebody wants to do some tree transplantation required for the widening of roads and creation of infrastructure. Can this not platform allow these people to quote their products, quote their prices, and allow the buyer on the other side to take some of those products? There are 100 other things. I mean, you have, if the road sector itself is concerned, there will be at least about 5,000 products which are required to create infrastructure or to make a road. So now we are moving this small initiative into a much bigger initiative, into a much larger initiative of a platform which can serve the complete A to Z for the infrastructure sector. Now, because the buyers are already aggregated, we only need to create a small platform. We only need to create some data entry forms, if I may use that word, for people who would like to put their products and technology on the platform, put their photographs, put the product description, some small data points so that we are able to filter the information as per the requirement of the buyer. They can put out the photographs, they can put out the locations, and effectively this whole cycle would be completed. This platform is now almost ready, and possibly in the first week of the next financial year, our minister would be launching this platform in its completely different avatar. And even if we don't do many transactions on the portal, because this is a completely commercial transaction between the buyer and the seller, and it will be again a voluntary arrangement, but I am sure this would actually allow a lot of these information asymmetries which are there in our system. One product lying here, this guy does not know of it. An equipment lying idle there, this guy does not know of it here. So I think these information asymmetries, to a very large extent, for the infrastructure sector, would get sorted out. And effectively, the benefit of this will come into the projects in terms of the costs, which will definitely going to come down. So this is the beauty of creating a platform. I mean, you create them with absolutely minimal costs. Mansoor would tell you that we would not have spent 30 to 40 lakh rupees for creating this platform. I mean, that's small as that. And look at the benefit it's going to bring in for this sector. And I understand that similar such initiatives are required in any other sector that you think of. In fact, another platform that we created, I call it the LinkedIn of the infrastructure sector. You know, in the road sector, before we lay the road, or before we create a new highway, or before we create a new piece of infrastructure, we need to prepare proper detailed project reports. And in fact, in the new model that we have now in the ministry, the projects are also supervised by people who are not within us. These detailed project reports are done by consultants who are outside, and the projects are also supervised by consultants who are outside. So again, we needed to create a system so that we can bring all these people on a common platform. I mean, we don't know who is there. There may be a civil engineer who might be in Darbhanga district of Bihar. He has a lot of knowledge on bridges, but nobody here knows of him. You only know of people who are around you, but you don't know people who are lying everywhere. There are a lot of unsung heroes, as one may say that. So what we created was another platform called as InfraCon, as the name suggests, for infrastructure consultants. Because we call them consultants, so we use this word called InfraCon. Again, a platform wherein we wanted to create a national database of infrastructure professionals on the one side, clients like us, I mean Ministry, NHI, NHIDCL, who are procuring these consultants, and the consultancy firms, because the entire procurement is done through consultancy firms. So this idea for another platform called InfraCon came in through this particular need of creating a national database. But again, as what happened in AMPRO, here also now this has gone one step up, and now this has become a complete procurement solution for us in terms of infrastructure consultants. We not just have the database now, we have procuring all our consultants and our consultancy firms in the entire ministry and all the allied units through this particular portal. More than 6,000 professionals working in the infrastructure sector have registered with their credentials and CVs on the portal. More than 500 companies and consultancy firms which actually bid for various projects have also registered on the portal. Now we actually bid out our projects through this portal. They are able to form teams through the portal. They are able to bid for the projects. And we again have gone one step up. We secure their information in such a manner that we are able to give them technical marks also automatically through the portal and display it on the portal. It goes online into their system, and the procurement that used to take months together is now converted into a kind of a month exercise. I mean, you just allow 21 days for people to find out and form teams. You are able to give them technical marks through the portal instantaneously, and then you are able to procure these consultants. And again, the benefit of this, again, the major spin-off of this whole exercise would be to cut down the cost of procurement, to bring down the time that was needed earlier for doing these procurements, and effectively create good quality detailed project reports. And it also opens up a huge opportunity and a window of opportunity for all those who are lying everywhere in the country but do not know where to kind of apply for a particular job. So this is what I call it as a kind of a LinkedIn for the infrastructure sector. And I'm sure right now we're only looking at highway professionals, but over the course of time, if this platform matures, we might convert this into a portal for the entire infrastructure segment, including say power or railways or any other sector. So these two illustrations of InAMPRO and InfraCon illustrates the value of platforms. In the commercial space, you have a lot of platforms, but in the public space, if you are able to create platforms like this, after all, Aadhaar is a platform, which is, and the post-Aadhaar world is much more attractive and exciting than the pre-Aadhaar world itself, because it's a platform, and this platform can be used by anybody in the government sector or in the private sector for various applications. I think the use of platform in the parlance of the government can really solve a lot of problems, bring down costs, and improve efficiency and effectiveness for the delivery of various programs that we do in the government. I thought these two illustrations would sum it up for you, how platforms can play a huge role in governance. Thank you.